Hey, what is up, guys? It's your boy Speed here, and today I'm really excited to talk about this Primal Beast game I just played. And the reason why it's a really interesting game is I got hardcore counterpicked. I think IO Monkey King could be one of the worst possible lanes for Primal Beast. Now, I actually really like laning with Disruptor. The hero pressures pretty well on the one-on-one, right? Like, it can zone out the 5 really well and give you a good one-on-one. However, my one-on-one against Monkey King is horrible. It's really awful. He just builds up Jingu. It's it's as simple as that. There's nothing else to say. And so I'm going to show you guys how, even though my game wasn't perfect, like I'll skip ahead a little bit. Even though my game isn't perfect, like net worth here, I'm lowest net worth core, things are not looking great, we're able to snowball the game and actually get out of this lane relatively scot-free. Even if I go back to around minute 7, you notice my net worth really isn't that bad. And once again, this was like an absolute counterpick. And on top of that, I roam to enable the other lanes. And on top of that, he has First Blood. So the lane against the Monkey King, who instantly got a full item, which is like disastrous, right? Absolutely disastrous. And yet things really weren't too terrible. Obviously, he's huge. Unfortunately, I think he picked up a couple kills onto my support in the lane. Yeah, he killed Disruptor a few times. So it is what it is. You know, I'm not surprised we lost the lane. But yeah, let's get into it. Let's watch some Dota 2. So yeah, okay. So in the lane, the big thing I'm looking to do is eventually drag the wave. I know that at some point I need to cut the wave, drag the wave, and manipulate the wave because I cannot fight this Monkey King. So in the early levels, I'm playing very defensive, immediately pulling creep aggro, and basically just trying to pull every single creep I possibly can when it's getting low HP, right? So when this creep, and this is a really advanced technique that only really top level players typically use consistently, but basically when you're playing the lane, and you're in a hard matchup, you want to pull aggro specifically early on, like right away, and then again when the creeps are about half HP to about a third HP. Because you can see I pull aggro when this creep was about half, and by the time it gets to me, it's in CS range. And now I'm able to get that CS while contested by the Monkey King, right? It was a little bit close. I nearly got it denied, but you know, it was just enough. Now, I probably should have queued for the range creep here, just secure it. It would have been a little bit risky, maybe taking some damage, so I didn't do it. But yeah. Not a bad start to the lane. To be fair, the lane's not too bad yet. He has Boundless Strike. Things are okay. Just looking to pull creep aggro, get the creeps away from the monkey and the IO, and just get what I can. Following that, we actually pick up a kill on the IO, and this is just classic Primal Beast. You hit level 2 and you have kill potential on the support. It just, you know, it's just how the hero works, and it's important to understand that. Okay, I was going to say I have no idea why IO walked here. I know why he walked there. He was trying to block the pull, alright? You know, I know why he walked there. But he walked there. He went really far up and then tries to IO tether, but of course we see that coming and we pick up the kills. So always just be aware of that type of thing, right? Anytime you hit level 2, if the enemy support walks past the creep wave, if they walk past the creep wave into an area like this, you should go on them with trample at level 2. Unless you're like specifically hard countered, right? They have like CM Sven and the trample's just going to get, you know, kited out. Okay, maybe don't do it then. You know what I mean? Wait for them to waste spells and then go. And the last thing I want to go over before I talk about like cutting waves and so on is the idea of not worrying about your support. So for instance, Disruptor here is just, you know, he's out of position. Not terribly, but he's a little bit out of position and they're going to chase him a bit. Right? I don't worry about that at all because I understand I want to get the creep wave into a comfortable position and get whatever CS I can in a bad matchup while he gets chased. I'm only going to shift over if there's a low HP hero I can easily clean up. But with some good creep aggro, I'm able to pull away a couple of CS once again in a hard lane, doing it again here, pulling the lane back, looking for a melee creep, having to disengage and eventually pick up my boots. And yeah, we're chilling. Unfortunately, we don't get the flag bearer. But not a horrible start to the lane. I even think I maybe could have been a little bit more aggressive on the CS, but IO Monkey King is just horrible. There's no way I ever pressure this Monkey King. It's impossible. He's going to be full HP no matter what. So yeah, talking about dragging waves, this is the key here, right? Most players wouldn't even think about this. They would try to lane for 8 minutes straight. You're never going to gain a MMR if you play Primal Beast and lane for 8 minutes straight. Now, first things first, shout out IO for pulling here. I have no idea why he pulled. The lane was not shoving in, and all this lets me do is trample the small camp. So shout out the enemy support. I don't know what he's doing, but he did it. And so that was good, right? That helped me out. That's like one way to actually look to start dragging the wave. And then the next thing I do is I know that the creep wave is in between this tree line at 20, 21-ish. Is more correct. So I hop over at 21, 22, and then I'm going to take the wave and run away with it, right? And this is good because I'm looking to essentially dodge the lane. Now, I ended up connecting 2 waves. Unfortunately, I'm stupid, and I try to catch the wave here, which you can't do, so I trampled it. I shouldn't have done this because it wasted my trample and made me have to chase the wave. I should have just waited for the wave to push into here, have them connect, and then trample the both of them at the same time, getting the gold. I wouldn't try to drag more than 2 waves together just in case like I get ganked or something by the position 4. It would be too risky, and I could even lose my tier 1 if they then dove me. So the wave ends up getting put into a weird spot, but this is okay, right? I'm happy with this. With the wave bouncing around like this and just being pushed under the towers, I'm super chilling. And this is exactly what you want to do on heroes like Centaur, Primal, Axe. Anytime you have a bad matchup, don't play the lane, right? Once you hit level like 3, you can even give up an entire creep wave. If you think that creep wave is going to make you take half your health because you're playing against a hard counter, just don't play the wave. It's not worth it, right? You're probably going to get 1 CS anyway. You can sap the XP from the trees, even if it gets denied. Realistically, if it's a pub, it won't. Like, they'll deny 2 out of the 4 creeps. And you're chilling, right? Now I get a 5-minute phase boost in a bad matchup, right? I'm like giga chilling. Right? I'm 2k net worth against a Monkey King. You might be like, oh, he's 700 net worth up. He got first blood. Of course he's going to be 700 net worth up. You know what I mean? So, good start to the lane. Now we drag onto the small camp. Clear up the small camp. Just a nice efficiency play, and once again, looking for the same thing. They kind of zone me off. I try to sneak through and quelling here, but he sees it coming, and I have to chill, which is okay. I maybe could have wrapped earlier and caught the wave. I try to play this wave a little bit. I have the phase boost so I can kite out. But this is what I'm saying, right? Wow, look at this! I take my own advice. Once I'm like, okay, I can't play this lane, right? Like, what am I supposed to do? This guy's Treads Oof, Blight, right? Like, what am I going to do? There's no play. I could try to, trample, and like if I have a +1, he actually could die to trample. Like phase boots 5 is pretty nasty. Like, with a +1 I can kill, but I don't have a +1. So it is what it is. I decided to drag to the large camp, and when I'm doing this, I'm actually watching the Monkey King to see if he's shifting over. So, oh nice, thanks replay bug. Thank you, Valve. How is this still in the game? Either way, so I drag the wave here over to the large camp, right? And I'm watching to see if the Monkey King shifts over. I see that he's not farming the creep wave, but he has a double wave pushing into his tower with a cart. He can't bother contesting me. So once again, I get a free opportunity to clear up the large camp, and we're chilling. He gets some Jingu, but it's fine. They pressure me a bit, but once again, it's fine. Not the end of the world. And now we're able to hit our level 6 at a very comfortable timing, and once again, drag the wave, clear that up, pick up a wind lace, buy a ward just to protect ourselves, right? That ward is really, really good. And then I decided to TP mid here. I guess I wasn't maybe needed, but it secures us an IO kill, so not bad, and it definitely helped my game out in particular. And one of the beautiful things about dragging the wave as well, and you'll see it in this clip here, is it actually frees up my trample, because I'm using the trample a bit earlier to clear the wave, right? Because I'm clearing it before it would typically meet. Not here because the Monkey King ran at me, but I'm clearing it, and I'm also clearing it in an area that's close to the mid lane. So because I have some decent awareness here, I say, oh, they're diving mid. I was even pretty slow about it. I was like, I was almost certain they had a hill ward here. But I was actually very slow about this. This is something I can improve on. Like, this is why it's so great to watch replays, and like I even love watching replays with you guys and just like talking. Because it makes me such a better player. Like I wouldn't have seen this. I wouldn't have known that like I was actually really slow. I could have been mid a year earlier because they're clearly diving Lich. Like, they're making it pretty obvious that they're going to commit. And I could have been here much, much earlier. Ends up working out anyway. The Celestial's crazy for sticking around. I guess he didn't think I'd show up, but yeah, we get another set of kills. And it's just good, right? It's just good. Even though my game is not great, right? Like, I've been kicked out of my lane. I mean, I can't, like, straight up lane. My net worth is not bad. I'm even surprised that Monkey King has so much more net worth than me. I think, did they get mid tier 1? Oh, that's what it is. I'm like, how do they have so much more gold? He has first blood and 2 tier 1s, and probably more bounty rates. I'm like, how are they so much more rich than me? Surely I'm not this inefficient. No, okay. It's just like towers and runes and first blood and kills. Like, this is crazy. Ah, this is so sad. This is so sad. Talking about bad execution. I was so upset when I did this. I was like, oh my god. I never mess up my execution, but messed it up here. What can you do? So we go in, lead with the pulverize. The reason why I want to lead pulverize is I don't want to waste my trample duration. So if I trample on him and then pulverize, it's okay, and you can do that. Like, you can do that, but I was afraid he would jump away, and the pulverize has pretty decent cast range. It's like, it can pick them up from pretty far away. So I do that, and then what I mess up here is I I should have onslaughted down into him and then canceled it right away. But I don't know. I misclicked and I didn't cancel. And as a result, I lose the trample damage and miss a massive kill. 1,600 gold gap. That probably would have been like a 300 gold kill or something. So really unfortunate. That would have been a game-changing kill. Pushed me up to level 8.5. Kill the Monkey King. Shut him down. Etc. Etc. So, but that's why, like, anytime you pick a hero like Primal, like, of course I got counterpicked, right? This guy picked this, I think he last picked the Monkey King, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, he last picked Monkey King. And so, of course, you know, you just need to learn how to survive. And this, like, I've more than survived here, which seems insane because they're, like, crushing us so hard. But really, it's not too bad. You know, it's really not that bad. The game is quite playable. Especially because my hero just functions fine from behind, which is why Primal Beast is kind of broken, but, you know, what can you do? So now, basically, I understand that it's my job to try to fight. I want to force fights wherever I can, because level 8 Primal Beast just kills anybody, and I have good matchups. Not a single one of their heroes has a really great way to disengage from Trample or Onslaught. And knowing this, I want to put the pressure. So we smoke to top here. I call for this smoke. Unfortunately, the Monkey King makes the really great play. Maybe they either saw it coming or... yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe he just made a great read. But okay, the gank fails. It's not the end of the world. It fails. Okay, sucks. But then what I instantly do is I call us to smoke again. It's a bit too many smokes. Like, you don't necessarily always want to smoke like this, but I felt that it was necessary here because we wanted to get outside of the top, get out of the top side of the map. Even here, my team went for a top kill on the Monkey King, which I wasn't a huge fan of. I thought we should swing the map. But funny enough, this ends up being really high skill because they go on the monkey top, right, or try to, and that makes the Prophet feel comfortable. But I called my Drow over, right, so you can see Drow's running. That's because I call him over. You got to synergize. You got to be the leader of these plays, right? You got to say, hey, come, right? Otherwise, people will just miss it most of the time. So I'm like, you know, free kill. We find the Prophet, we find the IO, and we get a nice set of kills. So really good, really solid for our game. TP top here. I probably shouldn't have TP top. I probably should have stayed bottom for the tower. I end up, you know, messing with this guy a little bit, dropping him low. But I'm not going to commit because the Lesh is in the area. So, right, don't want to overcommit, don't want to go too crazy. I scout out that they have a ward. The reason why I assumed they did is because they were just acting funny when I was walking at them. I'm like, okay, they probably see me. So I clear up the mid wave, right? Just want to get some, get the wave out, get some gold. You can't always fight, right? Because if, like, the thing is, I could try to stay off map, but the thing is, I could try to stay off map, but usually, like, that would just become a problem. Because I would just fall behind in terms of net worth. As we're going to go for a kill here. Picked up the free kill onto the, this is just the, it's just a bad TB from Furion. Like, he bought Orchid and isn't close to BKB. And, like, yeah, he's wealthy, but he has to understand that no matter how wealthy he is, it's just not, like, he has to be careful because his hero just doesn't fight mine well. So they overforce the fight. And this is what I mean. I'm forcing the fight. We're way behind, but I understand that it doesn't matter because their heroes don't fight too well. Yes, this guy is Bloodstone now, but... oh, Monkey King has a BKB already. Holy. Damn! That's early as shit. So, but typically Monkey King doesn't fight well in the Primal mid-game. Furion is horrendous because you trample down Sprout, and that's all. That's all there is to that matchup, right? There's nothing good about it. It's heinous. We have a Lich, we have Disruptor, we have Void Spirit, we have a lot of early game skirmish. So even here, I TP bottom, and I'm just like looking for a kill, right? So I see the... I actually didn't see, I guess that he was there. We get a nice kill into the IO, and we're just keeping the map open, right? We're trying to delay the game, create some space for Drow, get some pickoffs in the side lanes. Now, I will admit this gameplay of like chasing people around the map is generally pretty bad, actually, because it will make you poor. If you're like having only 76 CS at minute 16 is pretty horrible. But I felt that because we were losing the game and because they have relocate, if I was to sit in the lane and show constantly, number one, they could gank me. It's a little bit hard. They don't have the greatest setup. Their stuns are quite horrible. It's very meh draft from the enemy, honestly. But yeah, once again, I just felt that I had to force fights because of my timing, right? Which is early game. It's a really good Primal game due to their lack of stuns. Some games I would need to prioritize the BKB more and say, hey, I can't fight into their Nixus and their Willow, you know, whatever it is. But this game, I'm happy to do that. So in this fight, this was a really well-executed fight from the boys. We go in, right? We're scouting things out. Doesn't look great, right? Lich gets picked off, Void Spirit low. So I decided to go in with the Onslaught Trample. We chip down the Leshrac. It's not bad, right? Just get some Just get some chip. We poke him a little bit more here with the drow arrows. Then I think we go for a glimpse on him too. No, we don't have glimpse. Okay. But we get some good damage. Now Lesh is really low, right? So good poke. Then he tanks the tower for some heinous reason. So we go in. That guy tanks the tower. Really unlucky on the pulverize. He gets stunned right as I cast it, which sucks a bit. But we trample. Kite out a little bit. Unfortunately, missed the onslaught because I suck at the game. And it's just a great fight. And really, the key thing here is the kiting in and out. The main thing I could have done wrong, and that most people would have done wrong, is they would have hard commit, right? They would have hard commit right here, and probably grief the fight. They'd be like, oh, Lesh is really low, and they'd turn and try to kill this guy, right? Naturally, you would die to the ogre stun into a Lesh stun, and the fight would probably be horrible, right? Instead, I take my time. I let them dive the tower. I let them feel strong, right? It's like, oh, Primal Beast is running away. They are weak. We have Bloodstone, and it's like, they're just being bad. They're just way overcommitting, and we get a really good fight as we kite them out. I think it keeps going too. Yeah, we kill the Furion as well. So massive fight for us. All of a sudden, the game just flips on its head. Drow top net worth. We get out to the side lane, and that's a big thing as well. Anytime I win a fight, if I think I'm not going to find another kill, I'll get to the side lane. Now here, my supports ended up going sicko mode, which was kind of crazy because we didn't have Disruptor ulti, but they ran into the jungle. Maybe I could have followed them. They ended up bumping into Monkey, which I guess it would have been great if I was there. I'm just shocked that... Yeah, it would have been great if I was there. I just didn't know they were going to do that. Didn't expect them to find a Monkey King. So props to them. They made it... I don't want to say props to them because they didn't have any information. It was kind of just lucky. Which, you know, it's weird to play around luck. I'd rather make the reliable play, which is what, in general, I'd rather make the reliable play of, hey, I'm close to BKB. I'm just going to run bottom farm up to BKB, right? I'll just kind of get my timing. And that's what we do. We cut some waves. And now that we have the BKB, I'm going to look to fight. And big thing here, we find the Furion. We kill the Furion in the side lane. I think my Void Spirit does end up dying for it. Oh, no, he doesn't. Beast. But I call my team to go bottom, and it's really important to abuse vision in the mid game. I'm like yelling at my team, like, please, please, come here. Come. Right? We have this really good ward, and this is something I always abuse and say in late game Dota that most players don't. Like, think about it. How often have you called, like, hey, gank on this ward in your last, like, 1,000 matches? You know what I mean? But for real, like, it's such a valuable play. It's one of the most important plays in Dota. And, you know, we find obviously a huge initiation here at BKB just to be safe. Honestly, didn't need to. There's no cancel if I pick up the Lesh, so kind of a waste of BKB. But I guess it prevents some Bloodstone healing, to be fair. And then Monkey King just, like, griefs as well. He goes in, has nothing, so we can kite him out. Don't want to run through the Wukongs, but yeah, just another fantastic engagement playing off the vision. Great solo kill from the Void Spirit, but we find the kill on the bottom side. We find the Lesh and the Io, and that's really massive. And now I'd like to show a team fight that kind of goes both ways. It bounces back and forth quite a bit. But you'll see Drow gets gone on. She has a Pike and a Silver Edge. Went for a pretty greedy item build in the Silver Edge. I don't really get why she went Silver Edge instead of like Shard Manta or Shard Yasha, but whatever. She, you know, does what she does, but she doesn't have like any BKB, right? So if she gets caught after the Pike, she's very vulnerable. But she's Aegis right now, so gets gone on. Fight looking okay. We go through. We pop our BKB to do damage to Lesh. We go on him. Unfortunately, my team was a little bit split here, but my ulti does clean up the IO, so that's not bad. And they find the Drought, right? But the really big thing here is that I have a lot of discipline. I don't instantly onslaught in here because I don't know if they're going to commit. To be fair, I probably shouldn't even have walked into the creep wave, but the further I am away, the harder it is to hit the onslaught, right? So they end up like clumping up pretty hard here, so we go in. Right? I don't want to commit. I maybe could have went on the Furion, but I was scared of the Monkey King at the time. To be fair, now as I look at it with hindsight, I definitely should have manned up on the Furion because I should have had better map awareness and been looking at my minimap to know Void Spirit was going to come in. Unfortunately, I didn't see that, so I was, you know, pretty slow to this kill, which isn't great. But once again, we're going to wait our cooldowns. I'm not going to run in, and this is a great way to bait your opponents as well. They'll think, oh, they're disengaging. No, in reality, you're just waiting for your cooldowns. In 7 seconds, I have Trample, Onslaught, and Pulverize. I'm in great position to turn this fight. And that's exactly what happens. Lesh kills himself. Like, I don't know. Actually, to be fair, I didn't do anything. I didn't do shit. I'm baiting you guys. but you get the point, right? It's really important. And that's part of the reason that Lesh went in. He's like, oh, they're running away. A lot of the time, people chase just based on the fact that you're running away. Even if you're actually stronger than them, they'll chase you if you run away. And this is the case at every stage of the game, and it's a very abusable concept. I'm not going to go into all the examples I could right now, but there's a lot of times in which you can use this. Main one being waiting cooldowns, right? Especially if you're playing a hero like Primal. There's relatively like medium cooldowns, low cooldowns, but medium cooldowns. As we go for a smoke now. Picked up the Shivas here. It's good against Monkey. I needed some armor for the Bloodlust, the Overcharge, Monkey King, and Furion. The anti-heal against Lesh Bloodstone is fantastic, so I felt that it was a great Shivas game, and I didn't really feel like I needed a Blink Dagger. It's still good, could have been good, but we have a Void Spirit and Glimpse, so I'm like, we don't really need me to initiate, but it could have been good. We go in here, get some damage. I decided to BKB for the Ogre because I didn't feel like getting my Trample wasted, so I'm like, I'll just take the support kills. We find them, once again, playing a ward. Right? I can't stress enough how much I play wards in the late game. Be that guy too. Be the guy who plays the ward. As Lich actually finds a huge 4-staff onto the Monkey King. And yeah, that's going to be about the end of today's video. Hopefully you guys learn, like, it shows you that, you know, even if the lane doesn't go great and your Disruptor feeds the Monkey King first blood and another kill and you're hard countered, it's like, you still got to play the game. You got to make the most of the game, right? Do your best. Do what you can. You know, drag waves if you have to. Pull the large camp if you have to. Find a way to make the game playable. Find a way to, you know, make the game winnable. And yeah, I'm playing one of the best heroes in Dota right now here, so I have a way better way of recovering because I can just kill people even if I have 0 net worth. But the point is that, you know, you got to make options. You got to understand your job in the game, and hopefully I've made that clear to you that there's a lot of factors that I'm generally thinking about when it comes to winning Dota matches. And yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one, and I'm out. Peace.